and I haven't made a because mostly I think the market for wrestling. I guess this is just more of like an open-ended question to a lot of the wrestling fans that we do have out there that um, still watch and still come on here to commentate. So today as of recent, we've seen a lot of wrestlers pretty much go out with injury, especially, and this is like very, very costly to the WWE, especially around WrestleMania season. You know, because you have a lot of not just mid carders out, you have a lot of potential main eventers and main eventers out with Sting, Seth Rollins, John Cena. You have Nikki Bella, Naomi, and a couple other superstars that have gone out recently with injury. So, I've always wondered, and I know a lot of people have said this: has the WWE been trying to create its own stars with, especially with what they have now? And should they cut down house shows? I don't know if they should cut down house shows because I feel like that's a part of their bread and butter. If you really think about it, this is outside of their TV deal, pay-per-views, Raw, SmackDown. They constantly have to be on. I wonder. I don't like. Should they cut down house shows? So what do you think they should do? Also, the new the new superstars or WWE's own superstars argument, I feel like, especially in the wrestling community, is getting very, very old. And this is the reason why. So, if you go down to the superstars that are healthy at the current moment, you take out the ones that are in NXT, I think it's kind of hard to write for, let's say, somebody who's currently in a tag team like Big E. Big E eventually is going to become world champion, whether a lot of people like it or not. And you have your aging veterans like Big Show and Kane, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. WWE trying to, and what I think a lot of fans want them to do is just to push guys who they've seen in the indies, and especially because we are on the internet a lot more, and we see these opinions over and over. If the wrestling fans that we have out there, if it was their choice, this would be the current single week between Kevin Owens. Let's see. Between Kevin Owens, Cesaro when he's healthy. Who else is out there? Daniel Bryan would be back whether he's healthy or not. Roman Reigns would probably be fired. Sami Zayn would be Intercontinental Champion. Dean Ambrose would be like, it would just be nothing but indie superstars because those are the people that they consider the A talent, even though they might not have the marketability of, let's say, a John Cena or anybody else like a Daniel Bryan now, compared to before, or let's say like The Rock or somebody, or one of those big name guys. Like there are currently, even though you would like to say they're Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose and stuff like that, there are no Stone Cold Steve Austins currently. And the reason for that is because we, growing up, those were our wrestling heroes. Where now when kids are coming up now, their wrestling heroes are not a Stone Cold Steve Austin. They are John Cena. They are a Daniel Bryan. They are, let's say, whoever is the younger talent, who brand new to the scene. And I think people have been unable to accept that, which is, it's completely fine because I believe wrestling fans from before, since there was no internet, but I know like my dad and stuff, he was like a huge fan of like Kurt Hennig and Ric Flair and stuff like that. And he feels like when it went to like, he found like the Attitude Era very entertaining, but he was like, oh, it's nothing like seeing, like these older guys wrestle when it wasn't all these crazy moves and stuff like that, where it looked more like a fight. Completely understandable. So he doesn't have the same connections that we'd have to Stone Cold Steve Austin, because his connections were to like Kurt Hennig, Fit Finley, like Kevin Nash, stuff like that. ours would be somewhat of those same guys, but then it's like we kind of put those guys to the back burner for, like, let's say a Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, even though he's still around, Rick Rude. Like, those are who we gravitate towards. So now the younger fans, they gravitate towards the Roman Reigns, who was the good guy, who didn't need to be the anti-hero, which we had good guys in the Attitude Era, but they just switched and flip-flopped a lot because the marketing was different and the audience was different. It was, instead of it being, let's say 13, 14, to let's say 40, 42, it was really like, now it's a very, very kid-based. Like, it's a lot of kids there with a lot of parents there, so they still need those heroes. Where culture and TV or anything that's written out story arc wise, everything has to be the anti-hero, the guy who's struggling with being good, and he's so angry and so mean at the same time, but he wants to be so much more than this, but he really doesn't want to be anything. This is the stuff that we like. Now we feel like we gravitate towards the anti-hero. That's why you see a lot of people gravitate towards Edge and superstars of that sort. But that's completely fine. So it's just something to think about. Like, if you guys feel different about it, write it in the comments below. Again, I don't even know if I'm going to continue making videos like this. I didn't get any gameplay done at all, which is kind of very, very upsetting. So yeah, but just tell me what you think about this. Like, do you really feel that the landscape of the WWE has changed because of the lack of talent, or is it because we've aged out of where our heroes are retiring, like us with like basketball fans have with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant to LeBron James? Like, they don't like those new guys because the NBA, quote unquote, isn't the same. And it's the same with wrestling. It isn't the same anymore, whether we like to say it or not. So up to you. Like, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. If not, skip over this video. Let's give you a little bit of gameplay though. So I've been playing my career. I'm finally up at, I think, like an 80 in terms of stats. I really don't like WWE2K16 story mode. I think it's pointless. It's good for a time waster, but in terms of how well it's done, I think it's done poorly. Mostly because after you win a title, or even competing for a title, it's so much work to get to that spot. Like, if I go and attack Cesaro, or if I want to attack Cesaro won't be on TV for weeks at a time. But he has no storyline. It's not like anyone gets hurt in my career. There's no storylines outside of the Authority. Like, there's no point where you have any stables or anything. It's just strictly, everything is Authority based, and you attacking one superstar. Very, very basic. Compared to, like, let's say a game like Here Comes the Pain, where you were able to make your own stables. You were able to pick your tag team partners at, like, in certain points, and I didn't see that at all. So I don't enjoy this as much as I should. The fact that you can't hold multiple titles at the same time, even though when you start career mode, Seth Rollins is the United States champion and also the heavyweight champion. And I know that is true to form to WWE actual